Hey everyone, it's Eric, and the show time is now. I really wanna do this one on really becoming who we are. I mean, most of us don't know who we are. We're in this life, and we really are. We're even undecided of who we truly are. We're looking on the outside world, or we're looking at others. We're looking at other people, and really trying to impress something that's not really even true, not of who we truly want to be. We look at ourselves and we downgrade ourselves for other people, and we're really allowing that world on the outside of us to change on who we truly are. And that's really affecting this world in a huge way. We're allowing all this crap going on in this world that's not having any true effect on what we want in life. I mean, this world is here for a reason, and we're doing the exact opposite of what we should be doing to be able to create every and all things that we want to create. But what we need to do is we need to look at ourselves and see what we're doing that's not allowing us to make that happen. I mean, one thing with me, I had to really have destroy my life and just really realize, like, what the hell's wrong. And then I had to do a lot of research on things, and then I had to find out scientific proofs. I had to, I'm continuously doing research on things just to better myself. And the number one thing I had to do with my life is I had to, first of all, I had to look at my life and see what I'm doing. The number one thing and only thing I can do to actually have a huge effect, the biggest effect that I can actually have at the moment. And one thing we're seeing is most of us are looking out in the world, and we're seeing all the problems, and we're blaming the problems on other people. But what we need to understand is we're part of that problem as well. Okay? Now, for example, let's say just somebody's treating you like an asshole. You know what I mean? You're going to treat them like an asshole, and it's just going to continue. If we can actually humble ourselves and start treating that person with nothing but love and sincerity, that person is going to start looking at himself and seeing, like, whoa, wait a sec, why is this guy treating me so well? You know what I mean? Like, gosh, maybe I should, maybe this guy's a good person. Maybe I can start treating him a little better as well. They're going to want to treat you better. And by allowing yourself to seeing you are the only thing that you can change with yourself, you're going to allow yourself to see that you can create the world that you want by starting with yourself. And one thing most of us are doing is we're destroying this world by the way we're actually not allowing to look at who we truly are and see what we're able to and capable of doing. Okay? Now, I mean, I want to express more than anything that we are energetic beings. I mean, it's a proven fact. We can measure this. It's proven. We can do any and all things, and we're proving this on a very, very small level. But I mean, the evidence is there, and we need to look at that evidence, and we need to really start seeing what we can do to change things. And that allows us, we need to understand, I mean, anybody that believes in God, anybody that's spiritual or is religious, whatever, it says we are created in God's image. Now, look what it says God did. It said He created the world in 7 days. I don't really know what that means, but I do. But in a way, it doesn't matter. What we need to look at it is, how are we creating our world? How are we creating our status of what's allowing us to create what is? I mean, most of us are in a negative state of mind most of the time, and so we wonder why our life is so negative. We wonder why we're creating this negative reality and all this negative stuff. Well, what we need to look at is what's going on in our heads 24 hours a day. And if we truly want to create the world we want to create, first of all, we need to recognize what we're doing wrong. We need to really look at the things that we're doing, and we need to start writing them down, because once we can recognize those things we're doing, we can check them out, and we can start focusing on those, and then we can start realizing that, hey, this is something I need to stop doing. And once we recognize that, we can stop doing it, and then we can change that behavior into something that we actually want to do. And the more we do that, the more we're able to actually see that we are creating the world that we want to create. It might take a little while, because our paradigm that's that we are right now. I mean, we are creating a world because that's who we are. Our brain is wired in a way because that's the way we wired it to become. I mean, we did it, the world did, and whatever we believed, whatever we were taught, and whatever we held on to, and that's who we are. And that's the reason why we are creating the world that's going on around us. Now, one thing I'm really starting to notice, that nothing just comes in your life by chance. Every and all things really have a serious impact on what's going on in your reality within. And that's why it always talks about going within, who you are, your temple. You know what I mean? You're the temple. You're the only temple. There is no other temple. You know what I mean? Each and every person is the temple. That's why it says keep thy temple clean. It's not some fucking building, which most people think. You know, and that's gonna probably affect a lot of people, but I don't really care because it's all about truth. You know what I mean? What is your truth? And you're the one that has to find that with yourself. But one thing I truly know is that each and every person out there is beautiful, is amazing, and we're all energetic. We're all the universe. Nothing is separate. Nothing in this world is separate from each other. So if we want to see how we can actually change things, we need to look at what am I doing to change the world. And once we start changing ourselves, you're going to start seeing everybody around you change. It might be a little while, but you will start to see that change. You will start to see those people start thriving around you, because that's one thing. I mean, you are a beautiful soul. When you change and you really start changing all those negative aspects in your life, and if you really, really, truly want to be a good, honest person that just wants to better everybody's life, you're going to notice once you start doing these things that people are going to come into your life and they're going to start noticing you. You're going to start really seeing that those people that are having struggles in their life, they're gonna see you in a way of helping them out. And that's one thing. I mean, I see that in a lot of people for myself, but what I'm starting to see is I'm actually having that effect on a lot of people. And the first thing I do is I start to doubt myself. I start to say, oh, whatever, you know. When we get a compliment, I know I do, I don't really believe it in a way, but that's the thing. We need to take those compliments and we need to implement them in our lives, and we really need to focus on those, and we need to understand that we truly are doing something. Now, communication is a huge, powerful thing, and when we communicate, we're not just communicating by our voice. We're communicating by our thoughts, our emotion, continuously. The way we feel at all times, we are connecting with others. So we need to understand that when we're in a negative, anger, hateful, even loving state of energy or emotion, wherever we want to look at it, we are literally having effect to every and all things at a certain type of level. And so if we really want to look at it, like, what are we creating? What are we creating in this world? What are my emotions at? Is it hate, anger? Is it love? You know, what are we creating more of? And it really starts with us. We can only change us at the time and the moment. But the more we change us, the more we change the outside. It starts within and then it moves out. And once you really start doing this on a serious level, you'll just see dramatic changes by each and every single person in your life. And one thing I'm starting to notice is I'm starting to realize that I don't have to fight with everybody. If I don't like something, the way somebody says something, it's like, oh well, who cares? I'm the only one that can actually either fight it and make it worse, or just allow it to be said. And if it has anything to do with me, cool. And if it doesn't, just move on. Allow it. It was just words that somebody else said. And that's just where they're at the time being. And maybe you need to send love to them. Maybe you need to give a hug to them. Maybe you need to even agree with them if you can actually do that. Maybe sometimes you need to step back and be like, you know what? Maybe if I can, maybe the best thing I can do to actually make a change in this world might be to agree with this person. Maybe the only way to connect with somebody is to agree with what they're saying, even if you know for a fact and it has nothing to do with anything. Is just allowing that. Allowing you to humble yourself enough to agree with that person, to have a better connection with them, so you can change it. You know, sometimes people are stubborn like me, and they're not really willing to do those things until it's just enough is enough. you know, but we don't have to go that far. If we all work together and we really humble ourselves to really see the best way to really connect with each other. And it's not going to come easy. I mean, we're going to have those trial and errors, but we need to connect. We need to have more love and faith in ourselves and in others as well. And every time I look at the people out there, and one thing I'm focusing on right now is the people I don't like, the people that really frustrate me. I really need to look at those people the same way I look at myself and the same way I look at the people I love, because we're all connected. We're all one part of a whole. And if we're going to start putting pieces, making people pieces of the world, that's when we really disconnect from everything who we truly are. We're basically denying what we are, and so we're having to disconnect, so we're not able to create in the way that we are meant to be. We're creators. I mean, it says we are, you know, we're made in the image of God, and that's, if anybody knows what that is, then I mean, it says for itself. But I really wanted to just do one on today, because this is what the world's been teaching me, is we need to look at ourselves and see what we're doing, how we're actually creating this negativity in this world, and we need to change that perspective on it and really start loving ourselves so we can start making this world a better place. And I really didn't want to do one on this today, but everything's really just telling me I need to do this right now, and that's just what I'm doing within myself, really, you know, change my perspective on a lot of things and seeing what I can do to actually change within me, that I can have an effect on the world in a bigger way. So I love you guys. That's a short one, but see you the next time.